Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Hazan Yusof. Today I'm going to show you on how to find the resultant force of three forces. Let's look at these three forces here. F1, F2 and also F3. What we need to do first is that we need to find the Cartesian vector form of these three forces here. First, let's start with F1 first. So if you look closely here, F1 here is pointing towards negative x direction. Therefore, for the Fx, it must have x, negative, this one here. And then, if you can see here, this 400 Newton here is acting along x-axis. Means that this force cannot be resolved to y direction or z direction. Cannot. So, the value of Fx for this force here is 400 Newton. Okay. So, F1 here is equals to negative 400 I. So, if you get this kind of force where it is acting along single axis only, make sure to write it down like this. Magnitude of the force and then write down the direction of the force, whether it is I, J or K. Simple Next, let's proceed to F2 here. This one. So F2 here has the direction like this and we have angle 45 degree here. So we need to find Fx first. So when we resolve it to x direction, it is pointing towards positive direction. So it will be positive and the value is 250 Newton. So positive 250 Newtons. The angle is here, means that we want to save the angle. So we use sine. So 250 sine 45 degree I. Okay, this one is for Fxi. So what about Fy here? So from here, 250 Newton, we want to resolve it to y direction. Means that the angle is here, we want to crush the angle. So we use cosine and the direction is positive. So 250 cosine 45 degree J. So, easy so far so good Next, F3 there. So for this F3 here, they give us triangle as the direction. So we need to resolve it to x direction first. As you can see here, when we resolve it to x direction, it is pointing towards negative direction. So it will be negative 200 times, what is the same direction with this Fx here? 4. So negative 200, 4 over 5. This one. And then let's do Fy. So for Fy, from here to here. So it means that we want to pointing it towards positive. So it will be positive 200. Same direction with y is 4. Sorry, not 4. 3 Okay, so same direction is 3. So positive 200, 3 over 5. Finish. Okay. So we already converted all the forces into Cartesian vector form. Next, we want to find the resultant force. As I mentioned in the previous lecture, when we want to find the resultant force, what we need to do is that we combine all the forces in I direction and J direction. That's it. So when we combine everything, it will be like this. So as you can see here, when I write down the equation, I didn't calculate the value of sine 45 or cosine 45. Why? Because if we calculate it early, we might get the value in many decimal point and we cannot write down all the decimal point. So which is why I prefer to calculate the answer at the end of the equation. So I maintain sine 45 up to the end. Now we already have all the total of I and also the total of J here. So let's calculate it. And you will get the value is Fr equals to negative 383.22I plus with 296.78 Newton. Don't forget the unit, Newton. So if we draw this resultant force here on the figure here, okay, so x direction will be pointing towards negative direction, so it will be like this, 383.22, and then for Fy is positive, so it will be like this, 296.78 Newton. Yeah, and if we try to calculate the resultant force using the equation, this one, so fx square plus fy square, square root the total, we will get the magnitude of this resultant force is 484.7 Newton. So we have all the values that we need. Okay, we have fx, fy, and also the magnitude of the resultant force. Let's find the direction of this resultant force here. So let's move our arrow here, and when we draw the resultant force, it will be pointing towards this direction. What about the direction or the angle? So you can choose either one, but if the question asks you, for example, find the direction from the positive y-axis. So this is positive y-axis, and this is the direction. So from here to here. So this is the angle. How to find this angle? Because we already have all the values, we can use anything, sine, cosine, or tangent. But I personally prefer to use tangent. So let's use tangent here. When we use tangent here, tangent is equals to, okay, the opposite of the angle is what? 383.22 over, so 296.78 Newton. So this is the value of tangent angle. So when we calculate it, insert it to the calculator here, we will get the angle is 52.2 degree. Yeah, simple, So this is how you can calculate the resultant force when you have more than 2 forces. If you have like 4 or 5 forces, just convert everything into Cartesian vector form and combine, or total up everything in I, J, and also K direction, and then find the magnitude and find the direction, which is the angle. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. See you again in the next lecture video. Bye bye.